Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chosen One Testimony. I'm Koko, and I don't know why I'm smiling so much, but you're welcome to this channel. Well, so today, as you can see from the why am I banging so hard? As you can see from the topic, we are going to be discussing like when is the right time to have a baby. Yeah. Nini? Laptop. Acha nikuje nikutolee. Well, guys, so there is this post that I saw on a friend's WhatsApp status, and I'll just try and put it up somewhere here. And that post was so true for me, and it got me thinking like people have so many different thoughts and desires when it comes to having children and raising a family. For example, religiously, even in the society that we live in, having kids should only come after marriage. Yes, like religiously, you should first of all, get married, then have your kids. Because, by doing that, you're avoiding every form of sexual immorality. And then for other people, they're like, I would want to, just settle down with someone without necessarily having to get married. As long as we love each other, we can just have our kids and raise them and life goes on. Some people would want to have a man and no kids. Some people would be like, I want to have kids and not date or live with that man, like just have someone that will give me kids and then they just go away and I'll raise my kids on my own because I don't need no man in my life. Like people are different. We all have different desire. Some people do not even want kids and they still don't want even, like they just want to be alone. No kid, no man, like just stay alone. People are different. We all have different opinions. And anyway, you can't force someone to have what they don't want, especially when it comes to having kids and raising a family. You just can't force it. And then let us also consider this in the society that we live in, no matter what time your kids come, people will always say something unless it falls within the bracket within which they consider the right time to have a child. So, for example, if you have a kid early, these days you even hear like a 15-year-old that's pregnant. I had a kid at 21, that's still considered so early to have a child. The society is going to backlash you, my friend. You know, like you have a kid early, it's a problem. And then you also have a child late, like maybe you're married but kids are not coming, like you get kids maybe towards the age of 40, kuendelea huko, like your late 30s, people are like, hey, no, huyo amekawia sana, huh? Kwani hataki kuzaa ama nini? Sometimes you don't even understand like what the person is going through. But then there's some people that we know of, even like celebs who have had like such a long period in marriage without having kids, and people start talking, some of them start praying for them, but you don't know the struggle that that person is going through mpaka wafike mahali wanapata watoto late. Maybe it's their choice for some. Yeah, nakuja my baby, acha nisaidie boys na come. I'm back. So I was saying, like some people have their kids so late and you never really understand the issue. Maybe they were dealing with infertility issues. Maybe they're just having problems with constantly having miscarriages and stuff like that. Like things happen to people. Like people have different situations. And then there are some people who do not have kids at all. Maybe because they're barren or they just can't have babies. I don't know, it happens. And the society will always have something to say. When you're barren, they'll speak. Like even in the Bible, the barren women were waliona moto with the people around them. You get a kid late, you need to, it's also so devastating for the person that's going through that, and people don't understand, but society will always talk. Tunaongeanga, like we really talk. Hata sisi ndio tuko part of the society. Sometimes we also take part in speaking, in talking, contributing to the moshene when people that are not able to have kids or people that have delays. So first of all, let me mention this. We could have those relatives that everybody is thinking like, si huyu hata baisa angekuwa ameolewa. Huyu amekaa sana. Like I have a few people are like, hey, now wamekaa sana, and I'm just like, you just let them be. If they don't feel like getting married, let them be. If they don't feel like having kids, achana na wao. Like, we put so much pressure on people to get married and have kids at a specific age, you know, ukishafika hapo 25 unaanza sasa kuulizwa sasa boyfriend, mtoto anakuja lini, like there's just that pressure that our society, man. Hey, ukishaanza kugonga hapo ma 25, pressure ufike 30, sasa kila mtu hata anaanza sasa kusema si ulete basi hata mtoto peke yake, hata mtoto tu, hata mwanaume basi anaweza aka mtoto tu, like you know, it's so true with this society that we live in. Okay, so in regards to that, I was considering a few verses in the Bible. Let's say, for example, the story of Mary in Matthew 1:19. I have my notes here. Mary, Matthew 1:19. Like, Mary got pregnant when she was still a virgin. And I remember that, like, when I was reading that passage, I could feel like how tensed Joseph was when he received the news, and even considered to divorce her quietly. You know, like, he was such a gentleman. Hey, Jose. Like, he was such a gentleman that he considered to just divorce her privately ndio asibea hiyo shame ya kupata mtoto before marriage, because like I'm sure haikuwa kitu inakubalika huko, but pia hakuwa anataka kuwa shame dem, sio alikuwa anampenda. So like yeah, that was such a like a good man. And like you can imagine, ndio atake kufanya kitu kama hiyo, lazima kukuwe na ile influence yenye from the society around them, that ukipata mtoto kabla uoe, my friend, is a scam, is a disaster, you deserve a beating. But anyway, so but you can even see how, like, okay, but Mary ali receive positively, I think, because after part your assurance from the angel, like she was like, it's okay, bro, we can do this. But Joseph was like, oh my gosh, it's not my baby, lazima ude msaede. But like lazima ikoe like ili contributiwa by the perception yenye society ilikuwa nayo, like lazima uoe kwanza ndio kuwe na mtoto. Tuangalie mtu kama Sara alikuwa bibi ya Abraham, hakukuwa na mtoto mpaka akakuwa mzee, like they were really old by the time she had a kid. And you remember, like, she had tried so hard and waited for so long mpaka like she even decided to have a house help, have a baby in her place, you know, like. And lazima kukuwe na venye society ili influence ye kutaka kufanya kitu kama hiyo, ndio like a cover hiyo situation ya ye kukuwa unable kukuwa na mtoto na grow old, like you really waiting mpaka venye akaambiwa utapata mtoto. Yani she just laughed because it was like, bruh, sai at this age I'm old, man, I'm old, napataje mtoto sai. But you can see that yani how society shapes our thinking when it comes to the issue of having children. When you stay for too long, it's an issue. When you have a kid too early, it's an issue. Look at Hannah did not have a child, and I'd say she was rather mocked for that. Omi, but you guys, I got a dog. She's so cute. Her name is Omi. Anyway, that's so like we're looking at Hannah. Yani mpaka she, like when they had gone to the, where were they, when like they had just finished having that Camille, and then she went and knelt down and she cried so bitterly to God. Like she was really crying to God, pouring out her heart to God about really needing and wanting to have a son. Mpaka huyo priest akadhani huyu dem samelewa nini, but like you can see yenyewe hiyo ni kitu lazima ilikuwa imemkula, ni mpaka unalia Mungu hivyo. Unajua kama haingekuwa big deal in society, ungekuwa like mtoto akam is okay, but sasa imagine, but I can imagine how she felt, like yani mpaka mtu afikirie yenyewe umelewa. That must have been such a deep prayer, man, such a deep one. Look at Rebecca wa Isaac, hata yeye alikuwa barren, like hakuwa anaweza kuzaa. Elizabeth wa kina John, si hata yeye alikuwa amekaa sana kabla azae John, yani mpaka venye babake aliambiwa ati utazaa mtoto hakuamini juu alikuwa ameshazeeka mpaka, you know, like the story of Elizabeth and bwana Elizabeth alikuwa anaitwa nani, baba ya John the Baptist. Aya, so when you consider that, you can see how like society ina influence thought ya mtu when it comes to having a child and the time that they should come. And then let's also consider Jeremiah 1:5 and Isaiah 44:24. Zina discuss, like, I'll try and put them somewhere here. Like from these verses, you can see that for us to have come into existence, oh my gosh, yeah, for us to come into existence at whatever time we came, it must have been influenced by the idea of God forming us at that time. Because before we come into being, God has already written down our days. He has numbered our days. He has written down our story. Like, he knows everything about our lives from the beginning to the end, from the end to the beginning, even before we come to be. So by the time we are formed in our mother's wombs, God already knows us. And so that means, like, before anyone ever existed, and at whatever time they came, that is the time that God had ordained for them to be formed and for them to become what they are at that time. And and also considering Psalms 139:13 to 16, it also speaks about the same thing. Like, God had planned all our days before we were formed in our mother's wombs, and he knew when we would come to be, when we were going to live. Like, he has every detail put down. Wow, this video is becoming long. And so my thought was, like, if God has my days numbered, he knew exactly when I was going to come into existence and how I was going to come into existence. And there's, like I had mentioned in some other video I had done before, that I thought, or I think, and I believe that for me to have been formed, it was my mother, specifically my mother, and specifically my father, that had to come together to form me. I believe that. So sometimes that's why you find, like, some people, get raped maybe, and you have a kid. You had not planned for that, but God had ordained for that child to come into existence. And maybe it was only your DNA and that rapist's DNA that had to form that kid. I know it sounds so casual when I'm saying it, but it's not easy for people that have gone through rape. Guys, it's not easy. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So what am I saying? Like, before we come to be, before anybody comes to be, at whatever time they come to be, lazima God alikuwa ameplan that that person will be formed at that time, ndio watakuwa born at the specific day and time and second that they are going to, whatever moment they live on earth, whether it's one day, an hour or less, an hour or more, like years, decades, wengine wanamaliza centuries. Whatever time you exist in, God had planned for you to exist at that particular time. I believe that. So my thought is, no matter what time a child comes into the society, we have to appreciate that life, and even if it does not come, well, it's still okay. It was still in God's plan. And mtu akizaa mapema, God alikuwa ameplan for that. Lazima mtoto angezaliwa hiyo time, upende usipende, that kid had to come, and maybe exactly through you, like you are the only person that was fit enough to raise this kid. And if they come late, bado ilikuwa timing ya God. Like, you cannot force the existence of a person. We have no power to do that. It's only God that does. So whatever time a kid comes, you need timing ya God. That was the right time that they were supposed to come, whether young, old, at the right time that society thinks you should have a kid or raise a family. Whatever time a kid comes, hiyo ndio time yenye God alikuwa ameplan, na hakuna kinyo tunaweza fanya. But then I was watching, there's a video that Millie and Kabi had done, and then they were talking about, they had now decided to try for a kid early. Was it early this year or late last year? I think it was early this year, and wakaamua now, let's try for a kid. They did not even try for long. So I was thinking that sometimes God's will is in line with the desires of our hearts if we are in him. Kama like amekupatia hiyo desire kukuwa na mtoto, mbona hawako wamerush kupata like immediately after waoe, like God anakupatia hiyo will ya kutaka kukuwa na mtoto at the time yenye alikuwa na desire ukuwe na mtoto, senye huyo mtoto atazaliwa. Like, I don't know if you get, I was having that discussion with, I can't remember who, but that was the point. Yeah, so okay, let me conclude like this, man. Guys, I know I had a kid early, but I'm not supporting fornication. But if your kid comes early, God alikuwa ameplan for huyo mtoto akuje. So in as much as society will condemn you, maybe because they don't understand about God's timing or what, huyo mtoto angefaa kukam, and maybe just through you. And it does not matter the situation or the circumstances or the timing that surrounds a baby's formation or conception or birth. Hiyo ndio time God alikuwa ameordain that kid would be born into this world. And so we have to appreciate life whenever it comes, however it comes. Sasa ukiangalia maybe watu wenye walikuwa raped, au si watu wenye tu wametaka, maybe mtu umekuwa raped na ukapata ball, hauko umeplania hiyo mtoto, si ati ni situation yenye like ni so please. Sasa mtu kama huyo utamjudge useme ati hata pia yeye alikuwa ati anafanya nini ndio akapata mtoto, like timing ya God na situation yenye ina surround hiyo mtu ina. But sometimes those kids turn out into something something so big, you know. But anyway, my idea is whatever time a kid comes, hiyo ndo time yenye God alikuwa ameplan that they would come into existence, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, but in as much as that is true, we should also learn to keep ourselves, to walk in purity, you know, avoid fornication and every other form of sexual immorality. Yeah, but otherwise, I think that is my thought in regards to the right time to have a kid. The right time to have a kid is when God decides to bring that child. But in as much as that's the right time to have a kid, we should also preserve ourselves and walk in purity, and also teach our children to walk in purity and to respect their bodies and love themselves and take care of themselves. Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I think that's the end of my story. But before I go, tumefika 15 minutes. Kai, hii ni refu. But anyway, kabla tuende, nilikuwa nataka kuuliza this one last question. So when someone gets pregnant early, si huyo mtoto amekuwa formed, and then they abort, does it mean that that kid was just meant to be formed and, you know, like just die before they even become anything? Like, what's your thought about the kids that are aborted? Were they meant to be, or were they not meant to be? Were they an accident or what? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll keep on talking. Until next time, you guys have a good time. Yeah, na tuendelee kutafuta Yesu. Yeah, you have a good week. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.